was not a Shedeur guy. However, because of where he is and the quarterbacks that he is competing with, they've got to start him at some point. Kenny Pickett is injured and not an NFL quarterback. There is a 0% chance that Kenny Pickett is the Browns' answer at quarterback. 0%. Joe Flacco is 40 years old. There is a 0% chance Joe Flacco is their long-term answer at quarterback. Dillon Gabriel, he's too small. There is a 0% chance Dillon Gabriel is the Browns' franchise quarterback 3 years from now. Shedeur, there is a 5% chance Shedeur is the Browns' franchise quarterback. 5%. When the other three guys are combined 0% and you're going to be a terrible team, the moment the year has gotten away from you, you got to play Shedeur.
Bailey Zappi will be the backup quarterback on Sunday.
It's a great question. I wrote a whole column about this yesterday, and I made a very strong case that I think he should be. And I just wrote that because that's how I feel, and I have no idea if Kevin's going to do that. In fact, they might absolutely 100% make Shedeur Sanders the backup for this football game. But I don't think they should for so many reasons that I outlined in this column. The first of which, and the most important reason I'm citing here, is the fact that Shedeur Sanders, I think, would be best served by heading into a football game with a game plan designed for his skill set. If he has to go in against the Pittsburgh Steelers, all they've practiced all week is a Dillon Gabriel scheme. He's more mobile. He's different. He's not as tough. I mean, there are just different traits these two guys have. You're not going to be calling, the RPOs and the bootlegs and the rollouts and the keepers and the design runs and different things that you will call for Dillon. Now, I'm making him sound like he's Lamar Jackson. He's not that, but he is definitely mobile enough, and that was his game in college, to zip around and make off-schedule plays at times and avoid sacks and do all those things. That is not Shedeur's game. They would have to devise a game plan that is going to maximize Shedeur's skill set. And one of his superpower, his number one superpower, is his elite accuracy. I see it even in the short amount of time that we are now allowed to watch practice. He is still showing off this uncanny elite accuracy. It's really something to behold. I see him do things that it's elite level accuracy is what I'm seeing out there. So he's got some amazing things that he can do as well. It's just not the Dillon things. And I think when he goes into a football game, he should have the supporting cast, the plays, and everything else designed to help him. So it's really not about him not being ready. It's about him not being game planned for this week. And why can Bailey do that, even though he's also a drop back passer? Because Bailey's been around for 4 years. He would more easily be able to adapt to some of the things that Dillon's doing. He would play faster. He can pivot. He can be thrown into a situation. He has been thrown into situations before. He's also started 9 games, won 4 of them, including one in Pittsburgh when he was with the New England Patriots. So
trying to rewrite that initial narrative that was out there that basically Shedeur is wasting everyone's time.
But I think, and Dion certainly thinks, that there is going to be a world in which Shedeur sets foot in a football game.
This wasn't Dion. It was clear that this was made from the Browns, and I do think that's what's interesting about this, is because I think any time the Browns leak any report about Shedeur, it ends up backfiring, even if it's a well-intentioned one like this, which is to tell Shedeur fans
we can only control what we can control, but yeah, I don't want to speak for anyone in particular, and
At that point, Gabriel was full.
Learned little details. Definitely was ready for that, but all the details come down to it, and I think in any game you're going to want 4 to 5 plays back. Of course, the result will feel different, and maybe your 4 to 5 plays may feel different, but that's the game we live and play in. So got to be better in those 4 to 5 plays is what. It wasn't not on the same page. That's me on my end, trying to be smart in certain situations, and we get cloud and get want to make an answer there.
Something seriously wrong inside the Cleveland Browns organization. Reports are exploding that head coach Kevin Stefanski and general manager Andrew Berry are not even speaking to each other right now. This isn't just a small disagreement. This is a full-blown internal war. And at the center of it all, Shedeur Sanders. The future of the Browns quarterback room is tearing the franchise apart from the inside. Two powerful figures, two different visions, and one rookie QB caught in the middle of it all. What we're witnessing right now could define the direction of this entire franchise for the next decade. And it's already spiraling out of control. From what's being reported, the fissure between Stefanski and Barry has
Wasn't Dillon. It was clear that this was made from the Browns, and I do think that's what's interesting about this is because I think any time the Browns leak any report about Shedeur, it ends up backfiring, even if it's a well-intentioned one like this, which is to tell Shedeur fans,
never been deeper. Stefanski is allegedly doing whatever he wants, ignoring the front office and refusing to play the quarterback the organization wants to see on the field. Meanwhile, Andrew Barry is quietly losing patience. He's the man who drafted Shedeur Sanders, and he believes in the kid's potential. Look, I've been researching the NFL for the last 7 to 8 years deeply, and what I think? This kind of tension doesn't end well. The lines are being drawn. One man controls the roster, the other controls the plays. And that clash is about to explode in front of everyone. During the NFL draft, we all saw that icy stare down in the Browns war room when Shedeur Sanders' name was called. It was
trying to rewrite that initial narrative that was out there that basically Shedeur is wasting everyone's time.
But I think, and Dillon certainly thinks, that there is going to be a world in which Shedeur sets foot in a football game.
This wasn't excitement, it was shock. Rumors now suggest Stefanski never wanted Sanders. That reaction? That was the moment everything changed. The team thought they were unified, but one decision split the foundation in two. It's the kind of power struggle that tears organizations apart. And now, months later, those tensions are boiling over. Every press conference, every snap in practice, and every lineup decision feels like a quiet act of defiance. See, Stefanski reportedly wants to roll with Dillon Gabriel, his guy, his system, his comfort zone. But Andrew Barry, he wants Shedeur Sanders starting.
We can only control what we can control, but yeah, I don't want to speak for anyone in particular, and
At that point, Gabriel was full.
And if the reports are true, this isn't just preference, it's philosophy. Stefanski's playing his version of football, ignoring the future, while Barry sees a generational quarterback waiting for his shot. Two powerful egos colliding with no compromise in sight. And it's not just a disagreement about who plays. It's about who runs the franchise. And then there's the ace of spades. The mysterious force said to have overridden both men. Some believe it was Browns owner Jimmy Haslam who stepped in and said, "Draft Shedeur Sanders." That's when the chaos really began. When ownership intervenes like that, it means someone's job is already on the line. Stefanski might feel cornered, pressured to follow orders he never agreed to. That's why he's reportedly doing what he wants. This is no longer just a football debate. It's a battle of power, pride, and survival. Now think about this. One man decides who's on the roster. The other decides who plays on Sundays. That's the ticking time bomb. Andrew Barry controls the names on paper. Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Bailey Zapp. But once game day arrives, Stefanski decides who takes the field. And when those two visions collide, you get exactly what insiders are calling it, roster anarchy. The players don't even know who's really in charge anymore. And when the locker room senses that, the entire team loses direction. What's crazy is even local media is starting to turn. Reporters who once defended Stefanski are now quietly switching sides. Mary Kay Cabot, who's been covering the Browns for years, is reportedly tired of keeping quiet. She's now praising Shedeur Sanders, calling his accuracy legendary. That's a massive shift from what we heard just months ago. When insiders start flipping, it's usually because they know something deeper is brewing. The truth is leaking through the cracks, and the narrative around Sanders is changing fast. If you've made it this far, you clearly love real NFL insight and not just headlines. So make sure you subscribe to my channel right now and join the most authentic football community online. Every week, we uncover the real stories behind the noise, the power struggles, the locker room drama, and the future stars like Shedeur Sanders who might just change the game forever. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and never miss what's really happening behind closed doors in the NFL. Back to Cleveland, Stefanski's fate might already be sealed. The word circling around is that he won't be the coach next year. Andrew Berry, though, is locked in. That's why this feels like the calm before the storm. The GM is planning for the Browns' future, while Stefanski is coaching like there's no tomorrow. And in the middle stands Shedeur Sanders, a young quarterback caught between two visions of what Cleveland football should be. This isn't just about who plays quarterback. It's about control, whether the Browns are run by the head coach, the GM, or the owner who overrules them all. The next few weeks could determine everything: careers, legacies, and the fate of Shedeur Sanders himself. Because if Berry wins, Sanders starts. If Stefanski wins, the chaos continues. Either way, the Browns are standing on a fault line, and when it cracks, everyone in the NFL will feel it.